going to be speaking, please come up and stand to the right of me. And so we're going to be going in this order. It's going to be Jana, who's going to do a quick introduction. Dr. Rutlin is going to be going next. He'll introduce me. I'll say some words. Then I'll introduce Mel Flowers. Mel Flowers will introduce Attorney General. Attorney General will have the job of introducing the illustrious Congresswoman Kelly. Ms. Kelly, when you're done, give it back to me. At that point, I'll talk about our mask on, violence out. What'd you just say? I'll talk about our mask on, violence out, and then we're gonna have one of our winners who won the contest to come up and do some spoken word. And then after that, somebody gotta hold this, guys. After that, we're gonna have two of our actors from the Shy come up.
This one is pretty steady.
All right, so let's get started. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello, hello.
Windy out here. We're here, y'all. Stay with us.
So the other thing is everybody should have their mask on, and when you get ready to talk, you can take your mask down to talk. We want to be doing all the right CDC guidelines, since we're also talking about mask on. So thank you guys for that. Also, any of you guys who want a t-shirt right over there, please grab your size, small, medium, large, or extra large.
Good morning, everyone. We're so glad. We thank you for all coming out. We're here for a good cause. My name is Jana Bonds. I'm the board chair for the POP Foundation, and I'm the station manager for Power 92, Soul 106, and Rejoice 102. But overall, we're happy to be here today. We're going to be doing free testing, free COVID-19 testing, starting at 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. And we also have a great lineup for you today. So we do have some speakers coming up. We're going to be talking about different contesting that we're doing to help keep our community safe, keep our young people engaged. And we're going to talk about our new project that we're doing, a contest called Mask On, Violence Out. So if you see all of us with our red shirts on, that's what we're talking about, Mask On, Violence Out. And Dr. McGee will come up later and give you more details. But coming up today, speaking will be Dr. Ruben Rutlin, who's also the co-founder of the POP Foundation. Then following him will be Dr. Michael McGee. We also have Mr. Mel Flowers, who's the president of the Chicago Alumni Chapter for Kappa Alpha Psi. Then we have our Illinois Attorney General, Kwame Raoul. Then after him, we have Congresswoman Robin Kelly. We also have our winners from our last MOVO contest. They each won $1,000, so they're going to greet you on today. Then we have 2 actors from Showtime's The Shy. They are also our new ambassadors for Mask on Violence Out. We have Michael Epps, that everyone knows as Jake, and then we have Papa Brown, Shaman Brown Jr. So we want you all to put your hands together, pay attention as each one of them come up. But right now I'm going to introduce you to Dr. Ruben Rutlin, our co-founder.
Good morning. Good morning. All right. I'm not going to be long. I just want to say good morning, welcome, and thank you guys for coming out. I am Ruben Rutlin. I'm one of the co-owners of Premier Urgent Care and Occupational Health Center, as well as co-founder of Project Outreach and Prevention, POP, as many of you all know it. Many might be thinking, what do the two have to do together? One of our missions when we started our urgent care is we're very big on giving back to the community of Chicago and the community of Northwest Indiana. And so what we want to do, some of the proceeds from our urgent care goes towards our anti-violence campaign. And where our anti-violence campaign, Dr. McGee was the chief of the emergency room. I'm a chief of trauma at a hospital over in Gary, Indiana. And what we do is we got tired of seeing people who look like us, pronouncing them dead because of senseless violence. And so what we did, we decided to start an organization, Project Outreach and Prevention, to help decrease the violence in our community. Because if we don't decrease our violence, then who can we expect to come in and help us out? We started this urgent care, and one of our final tenets of this urgent care is some of the profits will go back to help decrease violence in our community. Because as high as you rise, you always have to give back to your community. And we want everyone out here to realize that whatever you do in your life, whatever you do in career, reach back and help somebody. Each one teach one, and we lift as we climb. Next, I'm going to introduce my business partner, Dr. Mike Mcgee. He's going to come up and tell you more about the Mask On and Violence Out.
Thank you, Dr. Rutlin.
Dr. McGee, walk a little bit closer to the mic. There's my mic. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you for coming out. I'm Dr. McGee. I'm actually the CEO of Premier Urgent Care, but I'm also an ER doctor. And so I work out of Methodist in Gary and Maryville, and I'm on the front lines, right? So ever since COVID started, I've been there. I'm the one that sees the patients coming in who are gasping for air and can't breathe, and I have to intubate them. Too often, the people that I see that are coming in are people that look like me. They're black. And so we were wondering, what is going on? Why am I seeing all of this? And so as we got more into looking at who COVID is happening to, we saw that it's disproportionately happened to African Americans and also Hispanics and people of color. And it's another health disparity. And the reality of that is that it's killing a lot of black folks, basically. And so it's associated with our comorbidities. More black people have high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, lung disease, immunocompressed because of cancer and HIV. Those are the things that make us more susceptible to COVID and the things that COVID can do. COVID causes cytokine storm. COVID can cause intravascular injuries so that you can get heart attacks and strokes and clots in your legs and clots in your lungs. And guess what? The same thing can happen to the youth. There are youth out here with hypertension and diabetes and obesity. And so although a lot of our youth running around thinking they're not susceptible, they really are. Because there's a lot of them who have the same kind of comorbidities that adults have. And so we all have to do our part. We all have to wear our masks. We all have to socially distance. And the reality of all this is, you see me wearing camouflage right now. I'm wearing camouflage because we are in a war. We are in a war against COVID, and we are in a war against violence. To me, they're the same. They're both diseases, one caused by a virus, one caused by systemic issues that have been going on historically. And what has happened now? We've already had blacks killing each other over the time and over the years, and it's caused by a bunch of different factors. They need help. We need resources to prevent these things. And they have access to guns. And it's going on nationwide. It's not just in Chicago. We hear so much about what's happening in Chicago and the murders, but I know the stats. My background is in epidemiology and biostats. I know that Chicago is only 12th out of all the 50 states in terms of the number of people dying from homicide. And so we get all the news media, but the reality is our numbers are not as high as places like St. Louis and Baltimore and Indianapolis. And I could go on and on and on. And so what we need to do, though, we need to recognize that it is a disease, and we need to put resources in it and do whatever we can. They're both doing the same thing. They're killing black folks at a huge clip. They're causing widespread destruction. And so even since COVID and after COVID, what has happened? It's gotten worse in every state. I'm also on the Indiana Trauma Department Care Committee, which is all the trauma centers, chiefs of trauma from all the different hospitals in Indiana. And everywhere, in every city in Indiana, the number of people being shot or killed is going up. And it's like that all across the country. And why is that? Well, when COVID hit, we lost jobs, we lost hope, we had gun stores that were still open, we had liquor stores that were still open. We have a bunch of angry, hopeless people out here, and now the incidence of people buying guns have increased dramatically. Almost 2.1 million more guns were sold this year than in any other year. And between May and July, we had more people dying this time of the year than last year. And so it's a problem. It's a perfect storm that's waiting to happen. And so we all must do our part to prevent violence. And so we're here now to campaign against violence and wearing your mask and also getting tested. So how are you going to know if you're susceptible and going to make your grandmother sick if you haven't gotten tested? Get over the fear of the little nasopharyngeal swab going up your nose. It just tickles and make you sneeze. It's not going to punch your brains out like some people think. We're doing testing right here, right now for free. Every place on the South Side in all cities should be doing testing. It's something that needs to be done so you can know what you have, and if you're going to make grandma or your little 3-year-old kid who has asthma or may have leukemia sick. So we got to do our part. And so we have a whole bunch of important people out here today. And I'm going to introduce, next up is another brother here who's an attorney from the South Side who's doing a bunch of testing himself. So Mel Flowers, please come up.
All right. Thank you. So I don't have to get into the reason why we need to do this, but one thing I start out with is to whom much is given, much is expected. This is why we're doing the work. And I love the work you brothers are doing. You know, Dr. Rutlin, Dr. McGee, it's fantastic and we appreciate it. I'm the president of the Chicago Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi. It's the first chapter in Kappa and the oldest and the largest here in the Chicagoland area. And we have, as of June, when the city reopened, focused on COVID testing, providing nutritious food to the community, right, through our food pantry, where we give over 10 to 15,000 pounds of food away every month. And we've also been focusing on the gun violence issue by attacking that in a different way, by focusing on working with violence interrupters and helping to provide expungement services to get these folks back into the situation where they can work. The work that these brothers are doing right now regarding COVID testing is so important. As of June, we focus on how we can impact flattening the curve, and we think we've done a fantastic job in that. We've partnered with Premier Urgent Healthcare as well with our testing, and also Christian Community Health Center to bring the testing. I also agree with Dr. McGee. Taking that swab up the nose, that few minutes or few seconds of inconvenience is incredible as it relates to your responsibility to help your family, yourself, right, to help flatten this curve. And so we encourage everyone as best as you can to do that. The other piece I want to continue to focus on is this gun violence piece, right, which is very important right now. We see this not only in Chicago, but major cities all over the country right now, and how we can actually impact these things. We've got to continue to figure out ways to get these folks in school. We've got to figure out ways to get these folks, food, which is important right now, and services so that they feel cared for. Again, I won't say too much. I just want to say thank you for the work that you guys are doing. With that, I want to bring up our Illinois Attorney General, Brother Kwame Raoul, who's also a member of Kappa Alpha Psi and a member of the Chicago Alumni Chapter. With that, Brother Raoul, would you come on up?
Thank you, Brother Flowers. And I got my camouflage on too. My mine is red for Kappa Alpha Psi. I want to say thank you to the healthcare professionals for not just being healthcare professionals that deal with either the coronavirus, which is an epidemic that has disproportionately impacted the Black community, or gun violence, which is disproportionately impacted the African American community. Too often we're just talking about things after the fact. We're talking about the statistics and how the statistics impact certain communities. But what's being done here today is lending their voice to preventative measures, not just accepting the status quo of statistics that impact our community. Making sure that we're out in the community saying that, yeah, there are preventative measures you can take. You can wear a mask. You can practice a certain type of hygiene. And yes, indeed, you can access testing. Do not listen to our president, unfortunately, who is trying to diminish the importance of testing. We need to know. We need to know. Part of flattening the curve is knowing who is infected. And sometimes somebody who's infected is asymptomatic. And to the extent that they go around other individuals, they spread the virus. I myself was infected in June. I had the symptom. I knew it. But there are people who are asymptomatic, and that highlights the importance of testing. As I said, there are two epidemics that we're dealing with. One is COVID, the other is violence. My office has historically worked through our crime victim services in offering services and grants to individuals and to organizations for dealing with survivors of violence after the fact. But I've challenged my crime victim services division to turn some attention to preventative measures. We can't just accept that we're just going to be victims, right? We've got to turn our attention to preventing the violence. And we're working in comprehensive ways to do so. I have a crime gun tracing platform. We prosecute gun trafficking, but we also have to lend our voice out in the community. And one person who's consistently done so, advocating against gun violence, is who I refer to as my big sister, Congresswoman Ruben Kelly.
Thank you so much. The first thing I want to say, I'm not a Kappa. But anyway, I want to thank Dr. McGee and Dr. Rutledge for pulling us together for two very important things, COVID-19 and gun violence. In DC, we are working very hard. Despite what you hear on the news about us being on vacation, there's still negotiations going on to bring the HEROES Act home. And included in the HEROES Act is $75 billion more dollars for testing, contract tracing, and treatment, money for essential workers, money for schools, so we can be sure if your child is going back to school that that school is healthy, safe, and clean, or if your school is virtual, they have the tools that they need to teach the children virtually. So we are not giving up. There's money for the state, money for the county, and money for local government, and we won't budge on that. We know how very, very important that is. The other thing is clinical trials. I know there's been, when you think of Tuskegee, when you think of Henrietta Lacks, there's a lot of things to make us mistrust clinical trials, but if we're not part of the trials, we won't be a part of the cure. And it's very important that they have trial data from disproportionately impacted communities, as you've heard from the previous speakers, that we are a disproportionate impacted community. So it's very important that people step up and be a part of the clinical trials. The other thing I want to, as the Attorney General said, gun violence prevention is something that's been in my heart. I've worked on since I've been in Congress. I have legislation around national trafficking and store purchasing bills. So depending on what we look like in January, I'll say, maybe we can get some of the bills passed. But I want to leave you with the census. If you have not filled out the census, please fill it out. We will be leaving money on the table that could come back to Illinois, come back to Chicago if people are not counted. I don't care if you're 5 days old, 5 months, If you're in jail, not in jail, if you have a home, you don't have a home, if you're documented or undocumented, everybody counts. And if you don't count, then the money's not coming here. And there are like 100 different programs that are impacted by the census. So while you're registering to vote, do that, but also fill out the census by September 30th because it was cut short. I just want to thank Dr. McGee and Dr. Rutledge again for including me, and keep up the wonderful work.
So thank you. So just to be clear, POPO on Violence means Project Outreach and Prevention. And so we have trademarked several slogans. One of them is the Mask On, Violence Out, which is MOVO. But the biggest one that we have is what you see right here, not one more life, one more day. Because in our mind, that incorporates any kind of death. You could be dying from cancer, HIV, COVID, suicide, unintentional gunshot injuries, and most homicide. And so this slogan incorporates everything that we as a society need to be thinking about. Not one more life, one more day. People should not be dying from others. We got too many natural causes out here killing us, so we should not be doing things to ourselves. And so one of the things that we did in association with 100 Black Men of Chicago, which I'm also a member of, we had to come up with a creative way to get not only adults, but youth to recognize they need to do their part. And so we came up with the slogan, Mask On, Violence Out. Phase one of that slogan, of that challenge, was this spring, where we had individual students who would submit a video, TikTok video, showing themselves making masks, and showing the mask using the colors orange, lime, purple, and green. They could not use red or blue, which could be mistaken for Crips or blood. They could not use black, which at night, black is ominous. In this day and society where we're already getting killed for stupid reasons, we have to be sure that we don't wear a black mask and put the fear of God in people when they have guns, and everybody got guns. And so we had to make sure that that's what we're preaching. And then the other piece of that was for youth to wear their mask and to do the best they could to socially distance. And so we had, the prizes were 5 different people could win. First prize was $1,000, second prize was $500, third prize was $300, $200, $100. They also each got a $150 gift card for groceries, and they each got a bag of goods. And so we had a lot of our winners who are now gone away, and so we were able to get 2 of our winners to come out today. The other piece of that was a Violence Out, where students had to now create a message pertaining to preventing violence. And so they had to submit another video, and that video was judged by the number of hits, the number of likes, the number of shares, and it was all on Power 92, it was all on 106.3, and so that was phase 1. And so with that, I want to go ahead and have our winners come up. One of the winners is Ryan Yancey, who is a student who's out in the suburbs. She is actually one of my students who's also in our program for students who want to become doctors, dentists, nurses, practitioners, what have you. She is an aspiring OBGYN doctor, and she is a great student, has great grades, and this is a wonderful mask. Y'all get a picture of that, a close-up of that beautiful mask with all the right colors. And by the way, orange, guys, means gun violence prevention. That's the color that hunters wear when they're out hunting so they don't get shot. We all should be wearing orange, guys, especially our youth. So thank you. Appreciate it. Clap it up for Ryan, please, guys. Clap it up for Ryan. So next up is Kendall, and I'll let Kendall tell a little bit about herself because she's also going to give you guys some of her spoken word.
Hello everyone, my name is Kendall Jackson, and I was the first place winner for the challenge for the spoken word. My piece is called Our Lives Matter. We should be able to say no to advances without worrying about retribution. We should not have to worry about being bullied and belittled for being ourselves. We should not have to duck at home because of gun violence in the streets. We should not have to mourn the loss of our young friends because of violence. My life matters. As a young Black human, I should be able to drive, walk, hang out, go to school, go to work, without worrying that someone will judge me, arrest me, shoot me, murder me because of my brown skin. It's time. It's time to take a strong voice. It's time to stop the fear. It's time to stop the violence. Our lives matter. My life matters. Your life matters. Thank you.
She got something else to tell you guys.
I'm a part of Dr. McGee's program because I want to go in the medical field and I want to become a sports medicine physician.
So you know what that means, Dr. Primus. We got a sports medicine future physician here. We're going to hang out with you. And so just to give a shout out to this facility and Dr. Primus. As you guys know, Dr. Primus is a orthopedic surgeon. Why don't you come on up, Dr. Primus, before we end it out and say some words. Tell a little bit about the beautiful things that you've gotten done here and your dreams for this place. Also about the sports facility for youth to come in and play and not get shot.
Yes, so first of all, I just want to thank Premier Urgent Care. These folks have been such a pillar, if you will, a beacon of light for our community. One of the visions that I had in creating a health center and sports complex was to provide a facility that represented the community and took care of the community. One of the things that we've learned about healthcare disparities, and that includes gun violence, is that in one word we can sum up why healthcare disparities exist, and it's racism. It's the legacy of this country. And I was just reading, in fact, I want to say it was Dr. Mike Mcgee who sent me this article that described one of the reasons that healthcare disparities exist. And they used one example that broke my heart. A recent study just came out that documented if you are a Black newborn baby, you have a higher likelihood of dying if you're being cared by a white doctor. Now, what does that mean? That's heavy. And so for me, I wanted to create a healthcare center that represented the community, that can give the compassion and the competency and just provide excellent care. And these brothers came together and formed, I want to say, one of the first, if maybe one or two Black-owned urgent care facilities in the country. And so they're doing incredible work. We have, obviously, my practice, which is an orthopedic and sports medicine joint reconstruction practice that's here. I sought out collaborators in terms of my specialty, so I brought in a chiropractor, Dr. Solomon Liburd, who's providing wonderful work here, a podiatrist, Dr. Carlos Smith, who's doing wonderful work. We have a neurologist, Dr. Bridget Arnett. We have an internal medicine GI specialist, Dr. Claudia Johnson, and the list goes on and on. And then we turned the old Hyde Park Tennis Club, that was basically a building that was falling apart. This is a beautiful 100,000 square foot facility that was falling apart in the Hyde Park, Kenwood, Bronzeville area. And we were able to take this property over and completely repurpose it as a sports facility for our youth. And so we have over 20 nonprofit youth organizations that call this place their home, the CSO Sports and Medical Multiplex. So again, it's called the CSO Sports and Medical Multiplex, right here in the historic Hyde Park, Kenwood, Bronzeville community, and just providing great work for our community. So again, Dr. Mike Mcgee, Dr. Rutlin, and all the wonderful work that you guys are doing with Premier Urgent Care and POP, trying to save lives like this. Lives like this. These are my children, by the way, so I'm just happy to have them with me today. So thanks again, and thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
So guys, just to clarify, our urgent care here at 47th Street takes care of a whole bunch of things that are not considered true emergencies. We're taking care of falls, cuts, lesions, STDs, urinary tract infections, pneumonia, a lot of different things. But most importantly, we're testing. We have the nasal swab test that takes about 2 to 3 days to come back. We also have the antibody test that you can now see if you had COVID back in February or March. It's not the best test if you have it right now or within a week or two, but if you're concerned if you've had it for over 2 to 3 weeks, it works well. And then in approximately 2 weeks, we're going to have the rapid 30-minute test. We're waiting on that right now because we're also going to be doing, and the only site in Chicago to do clinical trials for African Americans for COVID treatment. So you'll be hearing a whole bunch about that. And so getting back to where we are now, we're almost done. Right now, we're on phase 2 of Mask On, Violence Out. Phase 2 of Mask On, Violence Out is basically for youth in Northwest Indiana and Chicago suburbs, and it could be groups of youth. The first phase was only an individual. Now it's groups of youth who can now put together a video showing them making masks, dancing, singing, rapping, whatever. They can't use curse words. They have to be socially conscious. They can't dog the police. And then the Violence Out part is the same thing. They can make a rap video, martial arts, whatever they want to do. And so first prize is $2,000. Second prize is $1,000. And third prize is $500. And that's all being sponsored by POP. And also, to make that go viral and to be seen in multiple different cities, we enlisted the aid of some actors. And these actors are going to be highlighted all across America for this campaign to wear masks and prevent violence. And not only that, I partner with the 100 Black Men of America, and these are all the 100 Black Men chapters all over the country, and they're everywhere. And so we're basically going to be doing this together, and they're basically going to be doing mentoring and trying to prevent youth from preventing violence. So they picked up the mantle, and they're going to do their part. And at the end of the day, we want every Black organization or any organization that deals with youth to all be saying the same thing. We all want our students to do the proper thing, wear masks, and prevent violence and do things they can do. So we're trying to get everybody, every Divine Nine, and I like to thank the Divine Nine that came out today as well, but we want everybody to be doing these things. And so in order to do that, we need to have some very popular young figures. We need to have somebody who can appeal to the middle school and the high schooler, because they don't care about Dr. McGee or Dr. Rutlin or Dr. Primus, but somebody who's popular, who's doing some good things, is who we wanted to identify with. And so we identified 2 young actors. One is Shaman Brown. You may know him as Papa. And by the way, it's not Big Papa. He plays Big Papa sometimes when he's doing his little thing on TV. But it's actually just Papa. P-A-P-A. And then, and he's going to be doing the mask on part. And then the second actor that we have is going to be doing the violence out. His name is Michael Epps. Not Mike Epps, the comedian, but Michael Epps, also known as Jake, who's going to be doing the violence out part. Jake couldn't be here today. Something happened. And so he's still going to be as an ambassador, but we'll get back to him later. But we also have, and we didn't even know this, another actress who just popped up. Just popped up today after we found out last night that her dad was good friends with Corey, who was right here videoing, and found out that Genesis, who is another actress from the Chi, lives in Chicago, who plays the girlfriend of Papa, is here as well. So she's going to come up, say some words, and do some spoken word for us. So without further ado, we're going to have Papa. Come on up.
Hello. It's Mask. Hello, my name is Shaman Brown Jr. I play Papa on the Chi, and like Dr. McGee said, I will be representing the Mask On part of the Mask On Violence Out project. I'm very excited to bring awareness to this subject because a lot of kids my age aren't taking it as serious as they need to. A lot of kids are asymptomatic, meaning they might have the coronavirus, but they might not die because of it. But their family members might have a higher chance of getting it being older because of their health issues. So I just wanted to bring awareness to that and make sure kids wear the mask, stay safe, and do all the things they need to do to stay safe and keep their family and friends and loved ones safe. So yeah, I'm excited to be a part of this project, to also to bring awareness to kids in the Northwest Indiana and Chicago and the Chicago suburbs to be a part of the Mask on Violence Out Challenge, or MOVO, and visit Pop on Youth Violence on IG. And yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome, awesome. Clap it up for Papa, please. Clap it up for Papa. And so essentially the Violence Out part is just to bring awareness to the fact that the number one killer for young black males aged 10 to 24 is homicide. And the number two killer for Hispanic men is homicide. And so that's some stats for you right there. And basically we just want people out here, the young people out here, to recognize that you're doing self-induced genocide. You're killing yourselves. Police or white people don't have to do it. We're doing it to ourselves. And so we want them to get that message so the next time a young man is considering shooting another young man, he may think twice about that stat because we're adding to it. And so without further ado, we want Miss Genesis to come on up, straight out of Chicago, straight out of the Chi. All right, and she can dance too, guys. I saw her a little bit, but she ain't gonna do nothing now.
Okay. Can y'all hear me without this? Can y'all hear me? Alright.
Listen to your daddy. Listen to your daddy.
Hello everybody, my name is Genesis Denise Hill. I'm an actress, singer, and poet. And today I'm here along with my wonderful father to definitely bring some attention to the Mask On and Violence Out movement. I really do support and appreciate y'all for bringing me out. And with that, I do have a poem for you guys. This poem is kind of an adaptation from the beautiful Caleb the Poet's poem, Watch Me Work. So, yeah. Watch me work. I said, watch me work, and I'll show you why they call me Daughter Earth. I'm down in the ground, we stand all with hands on hips. I keep a black fist, raise it high above the lies and list of things we went through and we're still too far from bliss. I wish the nights like this, we never fall. And like raindrops on an Android, we still answer the call, cause what's the call? Free them all. Man, no, you can't change us. Beautiful kings and queens like us speak a whole nother language, thus showing the world that we are more than just skeletons on hangers. But they want to keep that closet closed because that $1 million melanin we got still got secrets that they don't want to be told. I'm on a whole nother level. I keep my crown on my head and my head up high because my people are no longer put on pedestals, so watch me work. See, I'm from the city where people be getting litty, we witty, and you don't know, you might be looking at the next entrepreneur on TV. I said, I'm from the city where people be getting litty, we witty, and you don't know, you might be looking at the next entrepreneurs on TV. I'm a little shy though, but it's common. When you becoming the next what? A Afeni Shakur, I'm sure that when I'm stepping through the door of my future, I'm messing up commas. My family will be poor no more, so watch me work. I'll show you why they call me Daughter Earth. I'm down in the ground, we all standing on with hands on hips. Thank you.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Clap it up for her, please, guys. Clap it up for her. So I think we may have one more poet. If you are, come on out. Come on out. After her, we're going to be done, guys. I thank you guys for your patience.
Hello.
I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Okay.
Peace of light. My name is Asha Omega. I'm an Aquarius. We out here. I'm an MC, I'm a lyricist, I'm a mentor. Sometimes I'm a teacher, I wear that hat occasionally. I've written my own curriculum and do all these things. And sometimes I'm a massage therapist when I put that hat on as well. So we're gonna do something a little different. I wanna put out some positive vibes, and before I do my piece, I wanna do some affirmations with y'all. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's get it.
All right, say, I love myself.
I love myself.
Y'all ain't loud enough for me. I love myself.
I love myself.
I am healthy.
I am healthy.
I am wealthy. I am wealthy. Yes, I am at peace. I live at ease. I am without stress. I am blessed. Now, do you believe in yourself, really?
Absolutely.
Do you? When you have a mission like this, and what y'all are doing, you have to have one thing you have to believe within yourself. And if you don't have that, you have nothing. So we're going to believe today. Now I'm going to need your help. Repeat after me. B-E-L-I-E-V-E.
B-E-L-I-E-V-E.
In myself, I believe.
In myself, I believe.
B-E-L-I-E-V-E.
B-E-L-I-E-V-E.
Yeah, in myself, I believe.
In myself, I believe.
Mick, I'm about to jazz. Blacking on they just finished class. I'm about to dash. Remember the name, pretty bad thing. We might be similar, but we are not the same. I am the one. I am the son. Golly body, I do not rap for funds. I rap for change in the membrane. God gave me pliers, cutting off the chains. Freedom, a state of mind. Can't find it online. Call me Dora, cause they bars I can't find. Just soliloquies that ain't on beat. Can't hear the passion, can't hear the heat. And when I'm on the mic, hard to be pimping, cause I ball so hard. Other MCs lipping, say you spilling tea, but it tastes like Lipton. Unpack my bags, I'm no longer tripping, cause I B-E-L-I-E-V-E.
B-E-L-I-E-V-E.
In myself, I believe.
In myself, I believe.
Y'all sound good. Okay, I just want to leave y'all with that. I want to get some positive vibes on the last one going. So remember, you are powerful. What you do matters. Your intentions matter. What you believe matters. Trust in yourself, trust in your vision, and have a good circle around you. Without them, you can never lose. Thanks.
Okay, guys, our last shot is a picture with everybody with a red and white shirt on, as well as our guests, our speakers, to be in the front. So I need Genesis, I need Papa, I need Congresswoman Robin Kelly, Mel getting his nose pinched out. Mel, don't cry. I saw you shed a tear. So guys, come on, we're gonna take a picture. Everybody in red and white shirts, come and stand behind, and we'll have the speakers in the front.